All right, guys, we've put together some great options. We've been throughout the entire house, filled out a full safety check. We've put it on the option sheet intentionally, not just to fill up paper. And now we're gonna take a minute, we're gonna present these options, and we're gonna do a verbal version of it where we have bullet point options. So we're gonna make sure the homeowner understands each one before we just run to the next one. All right, that's what we're gonna be looking for, okay? Hey, Christian, do you have a second to go over those options?
Yes, sir.
All right, if you got a minute, I've got the table set up over here. Are you okay with sitting on that side?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, sounds good. Well, first thing I want to do is thank you for calling us out today. I know there's a lot of plumbers you can use, and we don't take it lightly that you keep calling us back, so we really appreciate that, okay?
No problem.
Now, I know you've seen this multiple times. I've personally been in the industry so long and hadn't been exposed to something as great as our system. So I want to take a couple of minutes, and I want to show you some of the reasons why I chose to bring my career over to Milestone, okay?
Okay.
One of the biggest things on the front end of it was the fact that we were family owned and operated since 2004, which is completely how I believe we've maintained the A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau the whole time. It's hard enough to get one, but to maintain it for as long as we have, I believe the secret is this family owned and operated core value system that we have. We've earned so many awards at this point, we actually have a page filled with them. So it's something that we're definitely not going to jeopardize losing today, okay?
Yes, sir.
Our company, we have 5 super guarantees that every company should offer, but other companies aren't going to be able to offer these things. And this is what really separates us and sets us apart, okay? Now, a few of these are going to be the safety in good hands guarantee. And basically what that is to you is you're going to have the peace of mind of knowing whether you're home on our visit or just one of your family members, our techs are always going to be background checked, drug tested, and to the fullest extent, we're going to know we're sending the highest level technician into your home, okay?
Okay.
Now, the upfront pricing is a great guarantee because that just means that any price that we come up with today that we agree on as far as scope of work, unless you change that scope of work later in the call, which I don't see happening, is going to lock that price in. So if we run into a couple of things that we didn't expect to see, we're just going to have to absorb that, and we're just going to maintain that price, okay? So that's a peace of mind for you there. Now, the Excellence 100% money back guarantee, that should be a huge, especially nowadays, that should be a huge peace of mind to you. That just means when we get everything done, if we're not able to resolve all these issues, get you 100% satisfied, we're just going to give you all your money back at that point, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, on top of giving money back that way, Milestone's huge at giving back in the community. So just know that part of your investment today is going to be part of that $2.4 million we gave back last year. And that goes into a lot of different things. For me, Habitat for Humanity is nearest to my heart as far as trying to get people into homes who just have been less fortunate, you know. So we also include the insurance page, and this is really just peace of mind for you while we're in your home that there's zero risk to you.
Great.
We're professionals, we know what we're doing, mistakes happen, we have things in place for that. Nothing you need to really be worried about today, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, our MAM membership, you've been a member for a long time. I went ahead and left you where you're in as that MAM basic, but I do want to make sure that you have all this information so that you're getting the full benefit of it. So when I leave, I'm going to leave you a pamphlet that's going to have what you should expect from your cooling, heating, plumbing, and electrical visits. Okay?
Great.
All right, the rest of this is basically just like a pricing menu. It's just like being at a restaurant, so everything's locked in, and that's how I built all the prices, all right? So I appreciate you letting me go through that. So now, I know you remember this thing.
Yes.
So what we've done is we've gone through the house and we've checked each of these areas, and I just transferred this to get away from the plumbing technical jargon. I put it in the form of an option sheet.
Okay.
All right. So I've given multiple options, including one for just what you called for. So we're going to get that toilet taken care of regardless.
Right.
But some of those other concerns that we mentioned, as well as some of those repairs that can hold off or the upgrade stuff, I've got that included as well. So I want to read this over with you and figure out exactly what's going to work best for you today. All right, so this one we're calling the optimum safety solution here.
Okay.
So what this is going to do is that toilet up there in your son's bathroom, this is just going to be a complete rebuild from the wall throughout the toilet. So with this level of repair, if the toilet gives you any issues going forward for the next 5 years, you're just going to call us, and we'll take care of it. Okay. That looks like that's going to just be on the house with this package. Okay. We're just going to include that. Now from there, we start getting into some of the safety concerns that we talked about on the safety check. To me, as I prioritize this, it's going to be the pressure coming into the home. You know, it's not just that it's affecting your water line, it's that all the pressure is going to every fixture and asking it to do more work than it was designed to do.
Okay.
Since it affects such a large part of your system, that's why it goes pretty high for me as far as a priority when it comes to safety. Okay. Now that's going to include some other things. You'll see us doing some work around the water heater. There's some other things that are entailed with that, but it's all included in this price. Okay. The next thing is going to be those two 75-gallon water heaters that you have in the attic. I am really glad that you're still getting hot water, but that's to be expected with the 150 gallons coming at you. You know, even with that garden tub, you're not using near the capacity of what those things could actually put out. The concern is just like we talked about, the fact how far they are from their warranty. So with me not being able to tell you what the magic number is for how long they last, that's why they went up the list as well. And this includes all of the upgrades and code things we talked about with the venting, the stuff that was wrong with your vent where the unit on the left had the draft diverter off. When we're done with it, everything's actually going to be anchored and secured where, you know, there's nothing can move.
Okay.
So we're not just going to replace the heater. We're going to lock that thing in safe. The great news about this option is this one has our 12-year heaters. So we're also going to take up the maintenance on that thing over the next 12 years. We'll change some parts in it halfway through its life and extend that life out. Okay?
Yes, sir.
After that, going down this list, we're still in some safety concern area because when it comes to those washer hoses, it's like I've talked about before. The concern is that the only part of your plumbing system asking to hold back that high pressure is those rubber hoses.
Yes.
So I'm hoping it's never your reality, but I've seen it be too many people's reality. So I do have that factored into a safety concern area. Okay. We get moved down here. Now we're down to that kitchen faucet. Now, typically I see a kitchen faucet dripping. As long as the drain's in good shape, then it's just a drippy faucet. They happen. But with your pipe being corroded underneath, it is a recipe for I don't want to say disaster, but it is a recipe for a mess. Because if that drain decides to go before the faucet's fixed, then we have a drip going into a leaking pipe, and that equals a bad cabinet, things like that. So for that reason, that's one of the last things down here towards the bottom of my priority list of safety concerns, but it still is in there. That gas line I showed you is probably the biggest concern, but since I told you we're going to fix that for free, I just listed it so you have record that we're fixing that today.
Okay, great.
All right. We kind of get out of safety concerns at this point. These are some of those repairs we talked about. They can wait. You've been dealing with them for a while. You've done good maintaining some of them, honestly. But as we go into here, you can see that we have the old multi-turn valves that we talked about around the house. So with this repair and that option, not only do you gain that valve, but we're going to replace that flex line that goes from the valve to the faucet. So those faucets that you had put in a couple of years ago, they're going to be closer to age now with all the plumbing that comes out of the wall.
Okay,
so,
great.
you know, it's a great time to get them updated life expectancy wise with all the rest of it. That's also going to make it real easy if you ever have to maintain them. But with you being a member, it's going to make it easy for me to maintain them as I come out having to service these things. Okay. Now we have the tub spout that we saw in the wall. The reason that I know it's just a tub spout and it hasn't caused you any issues, but I know what's happening in that wall. The fact that water's not coming out is just as concerning as if it were water coming out of the wall. I know water's getting in that wall. And when water gets into a cold, damp, dark space like that, that's where mold starts growing. I don't know that that's the case right now, but I'm going to make sure it's not and that's no cost as well. We're just going to caulk that up for you.
Okay, thank you.
But that is definitely a repair that needs to be done. We have the outside faucet. That is a repair that can clearly wait because you've mastered it. You said 4 years now you've been replacing. How many splitters in 4 years?
1 a year.
One a year.
Yeah, a year.
I got to ask, are you buying them by the 6-pack yet? Do you have 2 left in the garage?
Just gotta go as they go out.
So you're buying them one at a time.
One at a time.
All right. Well, I can promise you go back and do the math. We're going to save you a fortune by you not having to do that anymore. All right.
Yes,
We're going to
thank
put
you.
one on. That's also a frost freezing concern as well. When
Okay.
you put those on. So, but either way, we're going to take that out and just put you a brand new one in with this option.
Okay.
That laundry faucet, this kind of, like I was talking to you about the kitchen, it is a drippy faucet, but the great news is that this one is actually dripping into a good drain. Not as much of a concern or urgency for you to get anything done with that if you don't need to. So that does qualify down here as just an upgrade. That's just going to, if anything, it's just going to get it when you're watching movies on Friday night with the family.
Yep.
You're not listening to that drip sound because I noticed stainless steel sink, how close it was to the family room there. The whole house shutoff valve, You know, it's weird to see it so far down on the list because this is an upgrade, but it's going to have a huge impact on your home. You can utilize this in different ways. We like to talk to homeowners about it in an emergency aspect, but there's also, if you're traveling, I don't know how often you go out of town, it's a great peace of mind to be able to rotate something 90 degrees and know that your house isn't going to flood while you're gone because it has no water. Now, there will be some other stuff that has to be done along with that, pumps or certain things to make sure nothing gets damaged, but I'll walk you through all of that. If that's something you decide to move forward with. Now, that last upgrade would have been the main priority for me. That's the new ice maker. And I can promise you, as much ice as my wife and kids go through, that would have been what I called you for.
Yeah.
But this is something we can get brought to life for you. Good news is you have 98% of what you need there. We're going to do some reconfiguring. We're going to guarantee it for 5 years, and you're just going to have instant ice at your fridge anytime you want.
Oh, that's great.
Good. I hope that does make a huge impact for you. Now, everything we talked about here is going to come with a 5-year guarantee warranty. I mean, we talked about that with the guarantees that we have. But the water heater in this option, it actually has that 12-year warranty. It's going to give you those extra parts at 6 years, and we're going to maintain it. So your maintenance, as far as the membership, is included with this as well. You're going to see some savings. All right, so now that we've gone over all of these options, other than pricing, what questions do you have for me?
I don't have any right now.
Okay, well, great. That means maybe I did a great job explaining that to you.
Sure did.
It was a lot of information to go over
It
all at
was.
once.
Well,
Well,
glad we went over it.
You've been very patient with me. Let me walk you through the way this would break down. If we were to do this over multiple trips, one item at a time, something like that would tally up to this cost here.
Okay.
But with you being a member and us bundling it together so that we can give some of these things away as well as these extra discounts we gave you, we can get this same package done for only this. And we also have financing if you wanted to use our options and use our money and make monthly payments.
Okay.
So I've got the rest of your options written down. Take a look at these and just let me know which one you want to get done today, okay?
Okay. So this option is everything except the 12-year, correct?
Let me triple check that. That is right. You lose the maintenance primarily in the warranty.
Do you have everything to take care of it today?
Yes.
What do you think you might be able to come back a different day?
Sure, I can. What we'll do is take care of some of the safety concern stuff while we're here and leave some of the larger items for when we come back.
Okay. And in case I have to leave, would you stop what you're doing, or how would that work?
You know, that's a great question. What we would actually do is we would both coordinate together, and I would make sure I had your schedule because that's going to be important to me, and I'm just going to navigate your schedule accordingly. I've been doing it long enough. I know how much time to allow for some of these things.
Okay.
So I'll work around that schedule.
Okay, thank you. Where do I sign?
Which one would you like? Here's your pen.
Let's go ahead with the premium.
All right, sounds good. All right, so do you have any time constraints today as far as once we get started?
Just as long as you're out before dinner.
Before dinner. Now we're gonna have to turn the water off to do a few of these items. Now, what I usually like to do is give you the next 20, 30 minutes to do what you need to do, maybe gather some water in case you need it. All of your toilets are gonna have one extra flush in them, so don't worry
Okay.
about that. And then if there comes a point where you need the water back on for something, if you can give me anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes, I'll get it right back on for you.
Okay.
But throughout the process, it's gonna probably be down for at least 3 to 4 hours, okay?
Okay, that's fine.
All right, sounds good. What I'm gonna do is take this, and we're gonna take this number, and I'm gonna transfer it over here onto the actual work invoice, and we'll just get a signature here, agreeing to the amount, and then I will get started.
Okay.
All right, thank you, I appreciate it. Well, we're gonna get started. Thank you, Christian.
Yes, sir.
Now give him a hand.
Whatever, dude. That's the one you wanted?
Perfect.
Okay.